Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan. I'm on this fitness journey and I have some awesome news to share. It is October 13th. I turned 37 yesterday, so hashtag old. But that is just to say that it has now been 10 and a half months since I have started this postpartum weight loss / fitness journey, right? And it has taken me this long, but I finally got it together. And I have not much time right now, but I realize that I am like in it. I'm in the matrix right now, you guys. I am where I've wanted to be for the past 10 and a half months. I'm finally in it, and if I want to document my progress, I'm gonna need to do a little bit of capturing now so that I'm able to look back in the future. So I just want to talk about everything that has changed, what I'm currently doing, how I've sort of gotten to where I'm at right now, and just talk briefly about progress. So on September 20th, I read a post in a Facebook group I'm a member of. Someone had mentioned, hey, on September 23rd, it will officially be only 100 days left in 2020. And that really got to me because I started this year off with these grandiose fitness goals, and like I have documented for the entire year on my channel, the whole pandemic thing really threw a wrench in my plans. I have not been back to the gym since the end of February because we got sick, but I think I did go once in the beginning of March. Anyway, it has been a process, right, of me bitching about not having gym equipment, and just really, long story short, it took me a really long time to build a home gym for myself and finally make some investments that felt like big and scary at the moment. But now, like, I don't ever see myself going back to the gym. I love my home gym. I feel very well equipped and equipped. It took me a really long time to restructure my workout programs and get to a point where I felt like I would actually be able to succeed in my goals without a gym. So it's just been a really hard year. It's been a hard year on me mentally. I really struggled to commit. I had all of this momentum toward the end of February, then I got sick, and then the COVID thing hit, and I lost it all. I lost all of my motivation and momentum because I felt like, what is the point? This is not possible. I'm not going to be able to succeed, at least in the way I wanted to. Anyway, so if you guys have seen my most recent videos, I had gotten into running just sort of as a way to get out and do something because I just couldn't bring myself to get back into lifting in my home gym because it just was so poorly equipped and I had no motivation. I just I just felt like, what's the point? I have no idea what I'm doing. And also diet, which I have talked about this whole year, was just not there. I just could not get my diet together. In retrospect, I think this is all because I recognized the commitment that is required subconsciously, subconsciously I recognized that the level of commitment required to achieve these body goals, physique goals I have, the commitment, it just requires everything of you, and I didn't have it. I just did not have enough to give. I was too battered and torn down by how all of my plans got wrecked for this year. And I wish I could say I was mentally stronger and was like, nothing can stop me attitude, and I was to a certain extent, but I'm just a human. And it took me a really long time to gather up the strength and the energy and the purpose and the desire and the belief in the process to really get that ball rolling. So diet was sort of just a mess and all over the place. I needed something to get me back on track. So I decided running is something I can do. It's the end of summer, right? The weather is still good. We still have some daylight out. And it's something I can just strap my shoes on and leave my front door and be gone for like 30 or 40 minutes and be home. It's like not this huge commitment. And so if you guys have been following me on Instagram, I will put my handle in the description box below. I had been like logging all my runs and everything, and I hated running, but it gave me something tangible and like a fun challenge to work toward. It gave me sort of a new sense of purpose and identity. I got connected to like the running community on Facebook and sort of felt like I was redefining myself and just overall just refreshing and renewing the whole process. And it did exactly what I needed it to. It put the fire back under my butt. And I loved it. I loved running, but all along I had this thing that was dragging me down, which was that I inherently knew that pure cardio was not the answer. I know what my goals are. I know what I want, and I want it badly. I want to get myself back to the physique I had back in 2013 and to feel as strong and powerful and healthy as I did back then. And I knew that the running was not taking me anywhere in terms of my goals. So finally the weather started turning. It was like raining and stuff. Oh, and I got shin splints while I was training for this that 1 mile an hour marathon that I had posted a video about. And so all of that sort of brought me to the point of like, okay, I need to get back into lifting because that is where it's at. My husband and I finally invested in a home gym, like a real home multifunctional gym, you know, with the lat pull down and the rows and everything. It has revolutionized my workout game. And so here's what has happened. I have since gotten connected with a bunch of groups on Facebook, like the Women Who Lift Weights and the IIFYM women groups, the If It Fits Your Macros groups, Macros Inc. I've joined a bunch of these Facebook groups, and they are so freaking inspiring because I see other people's progress and they're doing it. They're like in it and they're doing it and they're getting results. And I realized I can do that too. And I didn't even need the home gym. Like there were ways I could work around it. The home gym is making it a lot easier for me. But even still, I have DIY'd a lot of my own equipment. I have made kettlebells out of sandbags. I have made my own barbell using sandbags. I have bought a couple other pieces of equipment like an adjustable dumbbell, which has been clutch, and a couple other things to really flesh out the gym. But I am set to go for this winter. I'm really, really excited. And I've been so inspired by these women. But everything I kept reading in these groups was, and I've known this, is it all comes down to diet. So I have talked about how back when I started running, I had cleaned up my diet. I was eating like muesli for breakfast and I was having a salad for lunch, and like we were eating pescatarian, so it was like fish and broccoli and rice for dinner and stuff. I thought I was eating healthy, and I was. But here's the thing, you can be eating healthy and still totally blowing your diet, depending on what your goals are. I was eating a very healthy and diverse diet. However, I was eating way beyond the caloric intake I should be eating, and I was not lifting heavy enough. I was still too focused on make sure you get your cardio in and make sure you get that rep count. Got to get at least 8 to 10 reps. It was always about the rep, not about the weight. If I lifted too heavy and I couldn't get at least 8 reps, I considered that a failure. I now fully embrace the fact that that is not necessarily the best goal. Right now, I lift so heavy that I'm able to do 6 reps with perfect form, and I'm pretty much at failure at around 8, depending on the exercise. Like there's some things that I actually do rep out, like calf raises and stuff. I just don't have enough weight to load onto my body to be able to only do 6 reps of calf raises. So I do like 15 to 20. But anyway, it became abundantly clear to me that diet had to be the central focus. So I sucked it up and I have been on this epic quest. I am now 4 weeks into a self-directed body recomp. I say right now at week 4 of being in it and diligent with tracking my macros. Like everything I put, they call it BLTs, bites, licks, and tastes. Like literally everything that goes into my mouth has been weighed and entered into my FitnessPal. And I have been lifting, like I said, very heavy, and I've very smartly structured my workouts so that I am getting the compound movements, and I've done a lot of organization so that there's a lot of thought put into my training programs right now. And I say now at like week 4, I have consumed enough content on a daily basis, and I'm talking about like YouTube channels, Facebook group source, like crowdsourcing information in Facebook groups, fact checking everything I hear to make sure like I'm getting the common denominators of what is actually probably truth, researching journals and published medical studies, exercise science literature, podcasts. I just listened to a really fascinating podcast yesterday on iron culture. I have just consumed. I have sort of networked my way around to surround myself with some people who are maybe not like professionals to the point where I would pay them, but they're like very knowledgeable. And I have been able to ask some questions and sort of piece together the big picture. So, and I've also joined some really awesome groups. Like I said, the IIFYM groups on Facebook, and Macros Inc. has been a good one. I had mentioned YouTube. I really like Natasha Ocean's page and Misfit and Nerdy. I actually really like her page. She's got some good stuff up on there. Athleen. There's so many YouTube pages out there that I have identified as being trustworthy, incredible sources. I've fact-checked them, and they sort of align with the way I want to approach diet and fitness. It's taken me this long to consume enough information to figure out how to structure my workouts, what to do, how to do progressive overload and form, and just studying individual exercises. I am now able to do weighted lunges. I've never been able to do them because my form has been bad and my overall muscular development has been so bad that I've had such bad knee pain. So I've had to work on developing the strength in my knees so that I can now do these bigger compound exercises. So it's taken a lot of time, but I'm most proud about my diet because I have researched body recomposition. And I recognize that I am in one of the groups of people that will respond to body recomp. And it is because I consider myself, well, I'm definitely a newbie still. Even though I've been working out my whole life, I've not been working out properly. So like in terms of like heavy lifting and stuff, I'm definitely a newbie in that respect. But also I would consider myself sort of a detrained athlete. I was never an like advanced lifter. I was never like a lifter at all, but I was and have always been in my life a trained athlete. And I have been in the weight room for decades, right? So I do know that I have some of that, I forget what they call it, myonucleo, whatever, muscle memory. Anyway, I know that I'm in a group where I can respond to body recomp. So that is what I'm doing. And I currently have my macros set at, I think I'm just doing 40, 30, 30. Like 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. I was having it at 30% protein, 35% fat, 35% carbs, but I was told from some coaches in these groups that I should probably increase my carbs and decrease my fat. And so I've made some modifications. Mostly it's like hitting my protein targets has been really hard. I cannot even tell you guys how far off base I was with my diet, even when I was deep into my running program and thought I had cleaned up my diet and was eating like a targeted diet. Completely off, okay? I have since educated myself on why protein intake is so important. And it's because if you eat a lot of protein, it will help your body maintain your muscle mass and grow some more even when you're in a deficit, when you're in a caloric deficit. Otherwise, if you're not eating enough protein, your body is not going to maintain that muscle mass. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose the muscle mass, and then your metabolism is going to slow down. But if you maintain that muscle mass, like everyone says, muscle mass is an expensive tissue. It requires a lot of energy to maintain. It keeps your metabolism going. You're constantly burning more calories throughout the day, even at rest, especially if you are doing heavy resistance training to the point where you're damaging those muscles and your body needs to repair and even build your muscle, right? So that's what a whole body recomp is. You go in at like a modest deficit, caloric deficit, so that you can shed the body fat, but you eat and you train so that your body can maintain the muscle mass you do have and actually even grow it while you are losing body fat. So it has taken me an entire month of daily consumption of information and fact checking, and it would be a heck of a lot easier if I had just paid a professional, but I don't have the finances, right? All the spare money I have when it comes to like going to diet and fitness is going into my home gym. So I learned it the hard way, but now I get it. I still have a ton more to learn, but I'm in it, you guys. I'm like in the matrix right now. So I weighed myself this morning and I'm at my lowest weight. Like the lowest weight I reached this year was 69.1 kilo. This morning I was at 69.25, but Aunt Flo was supposed to arrive today or tomorrow. So technically this is the heaviest I should be in my cycle. So I genuinely think, and I'm starting to feel the difference in my body. I know I've lost fat. I also have been able to increase the load in my lifting. So I know I'm at least getting marginally stronger. So I know it's working, which is why I am now here to quickly record. I don't know, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this video up now just so that I can like have it up there. And then I'm going to do another video at the end of this month. So that's gonna be in what, 2 weeks? So I'll be like a third of the way through my recomp, and I'm going to do my measurements. I'm gonna be doing measurements for the first time since May? Was May the last time I did measurements? Measurements, legit progress pictures. I'm gonna do all of that so that I can log my process, because my goal is to go back to what I was saying earlier when I read that post about there being 100 days left in the year. It just felt like this nice round number to say, okay, I have a defined time frame. I said I was going to commit to this journey for the year, and now is my time to get it all put together and see if I can make a push to the end of the year so that I can have something fun to share on December 31st or January 1st when I've reached my 1-year anniversary of starting this journey. I had hoped that I would be somewhere far different than I am now, but I am so relieved and happy that I have finally figured out diet and figured out a plan and got the equipment all assembled at home so that I really actually truly can start tackling some of my goals. Yeah, so, you know, this is going to be like I'm going to reach my 1-year anniversary and it's just going to start a whole new cycle. But at the end of this year is going to be the end of my cut, or like the body recomp I'm doing. I'm going to then reverse diet back up to what my maintenance calories are. Right now, I don't know if I mentioned this, I'm eating anywhere from like 1,850 calories to 1,900 calories per day. I've calculated that my resting metabolic rate is around 1,450 calories. And then just based off of my Garmin and all of the calculators online that talk about like your lifestyle factors, whatever. I should be burning approximately 2,250 calories. So I'm at like a modest deficit. I think I'm like 15% below a 15% deficit, if I've calculated correctly, 1,900 calories. So I'm gonna go up to maintenance for several weeks, a couple months, just lift, maybe do a mini bulk. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I am committed to this body recomp for the rest of the year. So that is that. Stay tuned. I cannot wait in a couple weeks to finally post measurements and like my pre-pregnancy jeans try on. It's just very motivating. It's very motivating, yeah, to have that in the near future, whatever. And I also look forward to talking about some diet struggles and how it's been to adjust to a very strict regimen of weighing everything and having to really give up certain foods and change my eating habits and stuff. So I'm really excited to talk more about that in a couple weeks, but this video is long enough. So stay tuned if you're interested, and I will catch you then. Okay, bye guys.